Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Vibes. And I'd love to welcome here Borja Cuan. Now, he is a co-founder at 415 Digital. We're going to get to know him, have a great conversation. Borja, tell us a little bit more about you.
Hey, Kyle. Thanks for having me on today. Looking forward to the conversation. Um, I co-founded a digital marketing agency 8 years ago, but I've been in the digital marketing space since 1998. So that's many years. My agency specializes in helping businesses scale through digital advertising. So that would be Google Ads, Microsoft Bing, Meta, TikTok, LinkedIn. So businesses that are investing in those platforms, we manage their dollars and market their product or service across those platforms to help them generate leads or sales. In addition to the media buying side, we also design a lot of ads and landing pages for our clients that support the marketing campaigns, and also spend a lot of time on data and analytics. Obviously, in business, you can't manage what you can't measure, so we spend a lot of time on uh, 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 implementing the correct tracking infrastructure that support the marketing campaigns across the different platforms.
Well, I was reading that you also help with the client and employee turnover.
Yeah, so in my role as a co-founder, I definitely spend a lot of time on employee and client retention. I would say that's probably uh, the thing that I think about most, frankly, in particular because I think, at least on the client side, the game is getting a lot more difficult. Operating a business in this environment is immensely challenging today, April 2025, more challenging than I've ever seen it in the 8 years I've been an operator. And I think that's, partly because of what's happening with our economy. I also think there are more options available to people. The cost of doing business has increased. So various reasons why, but the bottom line is because of that, I have to react and respond accordingly as a business leader, business owner. And so, yes, I spend a lot of time on working with the team to solve for the how do we retain clients longer. And on the employee side, in a post-COVID environment, it's gotten to be, again, very difficult to keep people in their seats. Grass is greener mentality is at the forefront. Which is very different than when I started my career in 1998. I worked at a company for 8 years. We had highs and lows, and during those lows, I stayed put and worked through those lows. And then, the sun came back again, and we were on a high sort of point, and opportunities presented themselves. So I had a different mentality. I worked for two companies over 14 years, and that's unheard of in today's climate. So to answer your question, I do spend a lot of time to figure out ways to keep our employees fulfilled, happy, growing, developing, and then our clients satisfied. And that means really building deeper connections with them, but also driving results.
When it comes to keeping a customer, what did you say, customer service, or the fact that we do get online and you have so many options online? And if you're like me, I'm looking for a bargain, but I also look for who's going to give me attention. Is that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, customer service is a broad term. I think it can mean different things to different people. I think, simply put, definitionally, customer service to me, in my world, is Kyle sends me an email and I respond to that email in a timely manner. Kyle calls me and I answer. If I don't answer and he leaves me a voicemail, I respond to him within a reasonable time frame. That's kind of basic customer service. If you don't provide that, your business is going to die. But there's like different levels to customer service. In our world, That is part of it, which is being responsive, being excellent at communication, communicating frequently, being very transparent with the progress or lack thereof, with respect to the work we're doing with clients. But it's also being strategic with the work we're doing, right? Because ultimately, people are buying labor. We're a professional services organization, and people are buying labor, they're buying time, they're buying resources, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, we have to be strategic in the way we think about their business and how we help them solve problems and scale. And at the most important thing we do for our clients is drive results. So we spend a lot of time developing a relationship with them because it's really important to have a good relationship with your customers. But it won't be sufficient. That will not be enough to retain them long term. That will get you through a time period. But if you really want to develop good retention rates, there is no way to avoid driving measurable results for their business and helping them scale. And in our world, there's nowhere to hide. Everything we do is measured and reported on. So if you hire me for your business and I don't generate sales, or if I don't create pipeline for you, um, you're going to know that, and you're likely not going to retain me for services, even if you like me very much and you enjoy dinner outings and golf outings and meetings that we have together. If you enjoy our relationship, but we don't drive results, unfortunately, you will have a lot of pressure internally yourself in your position, and likely will be looking for a reason as to why the business isn't growing. And we usually are that reason, or that sort of the finger is pointed at us. And so we have to drive results. That's the only way we really are able to have the retention rates that we have, which, by the way, are about 36 plus months, which is 3 years. And in our industry, that's very impressive. And so I think a lot of the work and thought we put into it is paying off, because we see it with some of the retention rates from our existing clients. A lot of the companies that come to us will either be working with an existing agency, and they say to us, hey, the agency that we're working with is not paying attention to the details, or not crossing T's, or not dotting I's. Our business is kind of flat. We don't believe that this agency has what it takes to get us to the next level, take us to the promised land, whatever you want to say. So we need to level up our game, right? We need to work with a more strategic partner, someone that has deeper experience, domain experience, or otherwise. We need to work with someone else. So a lot of times we're solving for that, which is we have a business that either has been burned by an agency, has had a bad experience with an agency, and they come to us and they say, hey, we need someone that is detail oriented, has the knowledge, the skill set for this business, to help us achieve the very, very aggressive goals we have, which is we need to grow revenue by whatever, 50%, 20%, 100%. And so that's typically what we're up against. Or they have an in-house team, and they need someone to come in and supplement some of those resources. So we had a commercial cleaning business that we worked with that came to us, and they had been working with an agency. They work, and their ideal customer is really a museum, a hotel, a restaurant, a daycare center, school. And those are the type of businesses that they're trying to attract, right? Engage with. And they came to us and they said, hey, we're working with an agency. This agency, we looked under the hood, and we don't know much about digital marketing, but we kind of see things that aren't really adding up. And they said, can you guys take a look and do an audit? And so we went in there, we took a peek under the hood. And what that basically means is we looked at their ad accounts, the accounts that they're investing dollars in, Google, Meta. And we said, okay, we're going to look at this very objectively and assess the good, the bad, the ugly. So we're going to tell you, not based on opinion, but based on math and experience, what this agency is doing well, if there are things that they're doing well, and conversely, what they're not doing well. And then most importantly, what would we do differently if we were in the driver's seat? What would our plan be? Right.
Mhm.
And so we did that assessment. We found a lot of a lot of errors, let's say. We didn't find a lot to be complimentary of, and we would be if that were the case, and we have done that in the past. But in this particular case, not a lot to be complimentary of. And what we found mostly was the inefficient use of the ad dollars, meaning a lot of the keywords that were being purchased were targeting residential leads or residential customers, which is not in their ICP, in their ideal customer profile. They're trying to attract businesses, not people calling and saying, I want my home cleaned or I want my windows washed in my home. Um, so that was a big area of just immediate opportunity to make improvements on. And that wouldn't even be something very strategic, frankly. That's just like, how could someone who's targeting businesses have a campaign that's targeting, in addition to businesses, residential opportunities that are just not qualified, right?
Mhm.
So that was a big part of what we did, and we also through our relationship were able to focus on the better deals, i.e., not every deal is created equally, meaning some businesses don't bring the same deal size to that commercial cleaning company. So we were able to, based on targeting and getting the right message in front of these customers, bring in deals that had greater deal sizes to them. So their quality of leads were increasing because of the fact that we came in and sort of had a different approach. So that's kind of an example of a case study for a commercial cleaning company that we worked with.
So you'll work with any kind of client, or is it specified, or is there someone that you won't work with?
I mean, we will not work with anybody. I think there is criteria, and as we've matured and evolved as a business, we now are in a position where we can be more selective. I think initially we were very hungry for customer acquisition, and really just anybody that wanted to work with us, we were just happy that they would be working with us. And our goal was to not worry about how much they paid us. Our goal was to make them a raving fan of us. Because we knew that by creating that raving fan, they would refer other customers, right? And then we could be in a position where we could ask for more money. So that would be advice I would give any entrepreneur: is on your first deal, your first 10 deals, 20 deals, don't get fixated on price. I didn't care. That negotiation was very straightforward. It was, I just want you to work for us. Just pay us a nominal amount. We want to prove to you our worth and bring value to you. And over time, you will recognize that. And then we can talk about paying us more. But because I was an unknown entity, right, there were a lot of agencies. Nobody knew who we were. They knew me. They knew my background, but who cares? What have you done for me lately? I just wanted to get the opportunity to kind of prove our worth. Um, so yeah, we do work with a broad set of companies in terms of the category, but you have to meet certain criteria in order to work with us. Obviously you need to afford our fees, right? So that's number one. If you can't afford us, then it's not a good match. You also need to be spending a certain amount in digital marketing, usually between $80,000 and $100,000 a month in digital advertising, because it's at that investment that it makes sense economically for you to afford us. Like our fees are $8,000 a month minimum. And our average customer is spending $250,000 a month in media. So again, you have to meet that. And then also we've done this so much. We've worked with billion-dollar companies. We've worked with, seven-figure, eight-figure companies, and everything in between. And one thing that I've noticed and that matters to me at this stage of my career is just working with people that you enjoy working with. That's not to say you won't have friction and you won't disagree and there won't be ups and downs. Not every client's going to be a layup. That's not what I'm saying. It's just in general being aligned in terms of direction and where you want to go with the business, and making sure that they are also aligned with you and share in that point of view. Because if they do not, then it will be a very difficult journey. And that journey we know already is going to be difficult because nothing comes easy. And so we just want to make sure that there's alignment in terms of the personalities, and that there's some amount of chemistry before we start working with a client. Because if they're going to come in and treat our team badly or be very difficult or not contribute or not do what we need them to do in the process, it just sets it up for failure.
Do you train folks to do what you do, or somebody already have to know their business before they can work with you?
We found, to be honest, we've had the most success hiring people that were green and building them up.
Yeah.
Whenever we've hired a senior person, it's not always worked out. The best employee has been, that's not to say this represents other companies. I'm just speaking for my company. Um, those that we built up from the ground up, interns or very junior people that have, been trained and developed by us. But yeah, there's the training and development to me is a constant no matter where you are in your career, including myself. I need training and development to get better at what I do. So yes, there's constant training and development, and we spend a lot of time investing in the team, and that's one of the value props I think you get when you come here, and that a lot of people, we want them to know that everybody that has come through our doors has left worth more than when they came. Their value, their stock price has increased. And we know this because we know what they're getting paid at the next shop, or we know because they're starting their own agency, and we applaud that. It's great. You're not going to retire at my company, but I feel good as a business owner knowing that you are worth more because of working here than you were when you started.